Hi, it's Ardith, and it's release day for the newest Essentials by Ellen products. I'm here with a pretty Mother's Day card. I'm using this beautiful new Mondo Sakura. It's a card-sized spray of cherry blossoms, and it has some great sentiments. There's a matching die set available too, and it includes 2 word dies, beautiful and wonderful. I put the flower stamp in my mini MISTI, along with a panel of Ranger watercolor cardstock. I prepped the cardstock with an embossing bag and then inked up the stamp with Versamark ink. Because I'm stamping on the more textured side of the cardstock, I stamped it twice to make sure I got good ink coverage. I want my embossing powder to really stick. I'm using alabaster embossing powder from Brutus Monroe, and I pour it over my image, making sure that every part is covered. I tap off the excess and then I heat it with my heat tool until it's melted and smooth. I use purple tape to tape down my watercolor panel to a hard board to prevent warping, and I use a black velvet size 4 brush to pick up some clean, clear water. Cherry blossoms have an intense pink center that fades out to white at the edges of the petals, so I'm going to use water to create a similar effect. I work one flower at a time, and I paint each petal with a generous amount of water before adding some pink Catherine Pooler ink in the center. The water allows the pigment to travel across the petal, fading out towards the other edge. If I feel like the color isn't traveling the way I want it to, I go in with a bit more water to help it along. I move on from flower to flower using the same method. Next, I use Garden Party to fill in the stems and leaves. I don't worry too much about staying in the lines because I know I'm coming back in with a background color in a moment. I use ink only and no water because I'm not trying to get that fading that I wanted on the flower petals. When you use white embossing powder on white cardstock to create white flowers, your eye really needs some contrast, and one way to get it is to darken the background. I'm using Skylight ink, which is a really nice blue-green. Again, I'm going to let the water do the work. I paint around the flowers with clean, clear water, and then I add in some of the ink close to the flowers. The pigment will travel outward from the flower arrangement so that the contrast is greatest right around the flowers, and that will really help them to pop. I continue on and cover the whole panel, although in the end I used the matching die to cut out the flower, and I popped up a portion of the arrangement on my white card base. I didn't let the rest of the background go to waste though. I used the new alphabet dies to cut MOM out of the offcuts, and I popped it up as part of my sentiment. And here's my card. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.